So we have finished in part 1 all about the respiration and its types. So in this video we are going to understand about breathing. So first of all, here is one we have one activity, that is 6.1. Close your nostrils and mouth tightly and look at a watch. What did you feel after some time? How long were able to keep both of them closed? Note down the time for which you could hold your breath. Right? So now you know that you cannot survive for long without the breathing. Right? So see, breathing means taking air rich in oxygen and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs. The taking in of air rich in oxygen into the body is called inhalation, and giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide is known as exhalation. So it is a continuous process which goes on all the time and throughout the life of an organism. So the number of times a person breathes in a minute is termed as breathing rate. During breathing, inhalation and exhalation takes place alternatively. A breath means one inhalation plus one exhalation. Okay, so would you like to find out your breathing rate? You can do this. Now we have activity numbers 2. Generally, we are not aware that we are breathing. However, if you try, you can count your rate of breathing. Breathe in and breathe out normally. Find out how many times you breathe in and breathe out in a minute. So in this way, you can understand your breathing rate. Okay, and also record when you are sitting normally. Okay, at rest, that time also record your breathing rate, and when you are running, that time also record when you are walking and when you are eating or just talking. Okay, so you can record it, or with your friends also you can do it, and with yourself also you can do it. So what will be the get we will get the result. So as a result, more oxygen. Okay, more oxygen supply to our cells. It speeds up the breakdown of food and more energy is released. Right? When you are running or doing any heavy exercises, we use more oxygen. So it speeds up the breakdown of food and more energy is released. Because of that, after doing such physical activities, we feel hungry. Right, we feel hungry, and sometimes we feel drowsy. Does your breathing rate slow down? Yes. Does your body receive sufficient oxygen? No. That's why we feel drowsiness. Right, so we have one more activity here. So we have to observe these pictures, and we have to understand about which person is having the more breathing rate and which person is having less breathing rate. So here you can see a girl is, by giving the numbers also we can understand. So a girl is running, so definitely she has a breathing rate more as compared to other people. Right, this person is doing construction work or just climbing the ladder, and this boy is reading or studying, and this person is sleeping and she's also doing some work. And the old person, yes, the old person is having the breathing rate less only because they don't do that much physical activities as young people do. Okay, so can you say in which activity the rate of breathing will be slowest and which are having the fastest? Yes, so the girl which one is running, so she has the breathing rate fastest one. So how do we breathe? So let us now learn about the mechanism of breathing. Okay, so normally we take in air through our nostrils, right? When we inhale air, it passes through our nostrils into the nasal cavity. Okay, when we inhale air, it passes through our nostrils into the nasal cavity. From nasal cavity, the air reaches our lungs through the windpipe. Okay, through the windpipe, lungs are present in the chest cavity, right? So we will have here diagram also. See, when we breathe, okay, this is our nostril. When we breathe, air passes from our nasal passage, that is nasal cavity, and it will go down like this. And this is your pharynx, and this is the trachea, which is connected to the lungs. Right? We have pair of lungs, and which is covered by the ribs. Okay, that is a cover covering for the lungs. Right? So here, from nasal cavity, air reaches to our lungs through the windpipe, that is a trachea. Okay, windpipe is also known as trachea. Lungs are present in the chest cavity, and this cavity is surrounded by ribs on the sides. A large muscular sheet is called diaphragm. Here, you can see this is a muscular sheet which is called diaphragm. here it is given, right? Okay, so breathing involves the movement of the diaphragm and the rib cage. During inhalation, rib moves up. Okay, during inhalation means when we are taking inside air, that time ribs move up and outwards, and diaphragm moves down. So this movement increases space in our chest cavity and air rushes into the lungs. So the lungs get filled with air during exhalation, ribs move down and inwards, while diaphragm moves up to its former position. So this reduces the size of the chest cavity and air is pushed out of the lungs. Means when we are doing the inhalation, okay, so ribs move up and they will make the more space to air to get filled up with the air, your lungs, right? And during exhalation, ribs move down and they are again going to their original size. It reduces their sizes, then that's why the air pushed out of the lungs. So these movements in our body can be felt easily, right? So take a deep breath and keep your palm on the abdomen. So you will feel the movement of abdomen. What do you find? Yes, there is a change in size, right? After having learned that during breathing there are changes in the size of the chest cavity, children got involved in the chest expansion competition. Everyone was boasting that she or he could expand it the maximum. How about doing this activity in the class with your classmates? You can do it. So the air around has various types of unwanted particles such as smoke, dust, pollens, etc. When we inhale, the particles get trapped in the air present in our nasal cavity. You may have observed. So, however, sometimes these particles may get past the hair in the nasal cavity. This may irritate the lining of the cavity, as a result of which we sneeze. This is the reason we sneeze when we are entering in the dust area or when we are walking on the roads also. So much dust is there. So that's why these dust particles get stuck to your nasal cavity hair, and because of that we get sneeze. So the sneezing expels these foreign particles from the inhaled air and dust free clean air enters the body. So that is why it is important to know about why we sneeze. Okay, so that's why also there is one more thing is there. You can just clean your nasal cavity by just putting water inside it, so it will again you can remove out all these foreign particles to avoid getting sneezed all the time. So when you sneeze, you should cover your mouth and nose so that the foreign particles we expel are not inhaled by other person, right? So activity 6.4, again it is related to the breathing only. Take a deep breath, measure the size of the chest with measuring tape and record your observations, and you can put in table. So measure the size of the chest again when it is expanded, and when indicate that classmate shows the maximum expansion of the chest also. You can do yourself. So we can understand the mechanism of breathing by a simple model here. So air is drawn in, it is going inside, okay, then this is a diaphragm which is moving down. Okay, diaphragm moves down when we are doing the inhalation and ribs coming out. Okay, that's why the space. Okay, during inhalation, when we are taking inside the air, our ribs comes out like this and diaphragm moves down like this. Okay, so because of this process we are getting enough space inside our lungs to get filled the air inside the lungs. Okay, but in the exhalation opposite happens. So when we are taking in outside the air, that is in the form of carbon dioxide, our ribs come back to its original size and shape and diaphragm moves back, right? So look at the size of the chest cavity. Here it is increased, now here it is reduced. So because of this reduction in the size, air comes out. So this is the mechanism of breathing in human beings. So we have here activity 6.5. Before that we will see this one. Okay, this is the table for effect of breathing on chest size of your classmates and your, you can just check out. Then to understand the expansion of lungs, pull the rubber sheet from the waist towards. This is about the air expansion, we will understand that. Okay, before that we will see how, what do we breathe out. Okay, so what do we breathe out? Take a slender clean test tube or a glass plastic bottle, make a hole in its lid and fix it on the bottle. Pour some freshly prepared lime water in the test tube. Insert a plastic straw through here in this way. Okay, so what will happen? Hmm? So here in that hole the lid in such a way that it dips in the lime water, and just you have to blow out. How we are making the water soap bubbles from soap solution, we have to do the same assembly, and we have to use a straw, and you have to do that like blow gently through the straw a few times. Is there any change in the appearance of lime water? Can we explain this change on the basis of what you have learned in chapter number 5? So we already learned in the chapter number 5 that in physical change, chapter number 5. So when we add lime water, okay, when we add lime water, so what we are getting? We are getting as a gas, that is carbon dioxide, and the bubbles are nothing but the carbon dioxide gas only. So you are aware that air we inhale or exhale is a mixture of gases, right? So what do we exhale? We exhale carbon dioxide or a mixture of gases along with it. So you must have also observed that if you exhale on a mirror, okay, a film of moisture appears on its surface. From where do these droplets comes? Yes, so the reason is that these openings, just a minute, here the reason is that the lungs, right, when we are inhaling air, that is 20% of oxygen and 0.04% of carbon dioxide is there. Okay, so this is the inhaled oxygen and carbon dioxide percentage. But when we exhaled air, so that time look at the percentage, 16.4% oxygen and 4.4% carbon dioxide is there. So this is the reason behind that when we are inhaling air it is rich in oxygen, and when we are exhaling air it is rich in carbon dioxide. See, 4.4%, and here it is 0.04%. Oxygen is 16.4% only, that is reduced of its original form, and we are exhaling carbon dioxide, that is 4.4%, right? So okay, let's check about activity number 6.5. So here we have to take a a plastic bottle, remove the bottom, and get a Y-shaped glass or plastic tube. Make a hole in the lid so that the tube may pass through it. Okay, so to the forked end of the tube, fix two deflated balloons. Introduce the tube into the bottle as shown in the figure. Let's see, this is the figure here for this activity. Here it is given. You have to take one bottle, and you have to take this Y-shaped tube like this, and you have to put two deflated balloons like this, and this is a plastic bottle. Okay, and here you have to put, like, you have to close its lid, right? Now next step, so now cap the bottle, seal it to make it airtight. To the open base of the bottle, tie a thin rubber band or plastic sheet using a large rubber band. So, by doing this, to understand the expansion of the lungs, okay, pull the rubber sheet from the base downwards and watch the balloons next. Push the rubber or plastic sheet up and observe the balloons. Did you see any changes in the balloons? Yes, when you pull it, this is your rubber sheet, right? When you pull it, you can see the deflated balloons again, means they are releasing the air, right? So what do balloons in this model represent? What does the rubber sheet represent here? This like these balloons represent the lungs, and this rubber sheet represent the diaphragm. Okay, so as we know that when balloons are deflating, hmm, that time we are doing what we are doing, we are actually doing the inhalation process. This is the first process, means that time your diaphragm is going down, right, in this way. But when your diaphragm is going upward, that time your means the balloons are getting at, means they don't have any air, any kind of air, so they represent the lungs, means this is the exhalation process is happening, right? Now, let's understand about, this is all about the mechanism and how the air is, like lungs are expanding because of the oxygen and breathing everything. So let's understand the breathing in other animals. Okay. So animals such as elephants, lions, cows, goats, frogs, lizards, snakes, birds have lungs in their chest cavities like the human beings only. Same. So how do other animals breathe? Do they have also the lungs like those of human beings? So let us find out with the cockroach. So this is our first animal. Yes, it is insect. A cockroach has small openings on the sides of its body. Other insects also have similar openings. Okay, So these openings are called spiracles, right? And insects have a network of air tubes called tracheae for gas exchange. So oxygen-rich air rushes through the spiracles into the tracheal tubes and diffuses into the body tissue and reaches every cell of the body. Similarly, carbon dioxide from the cells goes into the tracheal tubes and moves out through spiracles. So these air tubes or tracheae are found only in insects, not only in other group of animals. Okay, so let's understand about the earthworm. Recall the chapter 6 from class 6th. Okay, that earthworms breathe through their skins. The skin of an earthworm feels moist and slimy on touching. Gases can easily pass through them. Though frogs have a pair of lungs like human beings, they can also breathe through their skin, which is moist and slippery. Now let's understand about breathing underwater. So can we breathe and survive in water? Where there are many organisms which live in water, like aquatic animals. How do they breathe underwater? So we have already studied in class 6 that fish has gills, right, which help them to use oxygen in the oxygen which is dissolved in water, right? So gills are the projections on the skins, you can see here. Okay, so you may have wonder about how gills help in the breathing. So gills are well supplied with blood vessels, okay, for exchange of gases. You can see here 6.10, this only. Okay, well, like well supplied with blood vessels, so they can help them in the breathing. So let's understand about how plants also respire or do the respiration. Living like other living organisms, plants also respire for their survival, as you have learned in class 6th only. So they also take in oxygen from their air and gives out carbon dioxide. Okay, by means of what? By means of the cells oxygen. In the cells, oxygen is used to break down glucose into carbon dioxide and water, as in the organisms, other organism. This is called cellular respiration. We already learnt in the first part of the chapter. In plants, each part can independently take in oxygen from the air and gives out carbon dioxide. So you have already learned in chapter number 1 that leaves of the plants have tiny pores called stomata for exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So, like other living cells of the plants, the root cells also need oxygen to generate energy, right? So, roots take up air from the air spaces present between the soil particles. This is the soil particles, air, root hair. This is a root hair and air space. From that, they are taking the oxygen. Yes, you might have thought about how roots are surviving in the soil, right? So they take oxygen like this. So can you guess what happened in potted plant is overwater? Yes, they are not having any soil particles or soil pores to get the air. That's why they get rotten. So in this chapter, you have learnt about that respiration is a vital biological process. All living organisms need to respire to get energy needed for their survival. So in this way, we have finished this lesson here. Thanks for watching.